Hello, welcome to Monthly Mommy Matters. So, if you have not realized, we did not do a Monthly Matters in June. June was a quiet month, and a quiet month overall. Um, Leah, I think that you just joined. Are we doing from this account or are we joining from your other account? And if we're joining from this account, just invite yourself so I know a request to join. But yes, so June was a quiet month, so we didn't do anything for June, but we as myself, the person that was supposed to be on for Monthly Mommy Matters for June will be on in the coming months. So we will get started with Mrs. Leah. She should be joining us shortly. Let's see if I got her in. Did I not do it right? Did I not do this right? I don't know what I just did. Oh, something's going on, Leah. I'm trying to get you in, and I'm accepting and inviting, and nothing is working. Y'all, what is going on? Technical difficulties. Leah, I don't know why it's not allowing you to join. Oh, Instagram, what are you doing? There we go.
Sorry, I don't know. I saw it working the first time and then it just didn't process.
Yeah. Then I was trying to click accept for you, and for whatever reason, I would click accept, but nothing happened, and I would still see the red mark.
With Instagram, you just never know what you're gonna get. So
God.
I'm just really happy.
Welcome to Mommy Matters. I am excited to have my friend Leah join us on this month. And y'all, this is her birthday month, So make sure you throw those happy birthdays to her in the chat. So before we even get started, can you introduce yourself, darling? Who are you? What babies do you have?
The famous question, who are you? And request of the intro. Of course, I can introduce myself. I'm Leah McKay. I am a mother, of course. Mother matters. A mother of three energetic children, ranging from age 6 to 2. I am a medical professional. I'm a registered nurse. I'm an entrepreneur. I wear too many hats, to be honest with you. The list is just too long. It would take all day. But ultimately, I'm a juggler. I will just say I'm a juggler of, life, business, believer in the Most High God as well. And so, yeah, just juggling all of those things. My passion is, of course, helping moms, helping families in my business just attain, the best self, coming to their best selves, holistic health specifically. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. There's just, it's so extensive, but I'm sure as we go along in this life, more questions will be asked and you'll get more of a reveal, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes. And hey.
You have been on here before. Typically, as you're aware, these conversations are not just question answer. They're really just.
Of course, yes. Yes.
But I really wanted to get into first. We know that there's moms out there that are homemakers, they're home, but there's moms out there who are actually in the workforce, whether in the corporate world, running their own business, so many avenues of working moms. And you specifically, as you said, you're a registered nurse. So being a mom, not of one, not of two, but of three babies, like you said, from 2 to 6. How do you manage being a nurse, and even like when you first had your first child to now your 3 children, and being a mother? How do you do that? Because we know nurses, they don't have a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, in most areas of nursing, you
Mm-hmm.
don't. You really don't. It's really hard to find. How do I do it? The grace of the Most High God. I have to tell you, it's really not by my own strength. I really don't know
Yeah.
where I get the energy, the strength, the ability. I don't know where it comes from. It's definitely not from me, but it is challenging. In saying that I'm receiving strength from the Lord, it is still a challenge,
Yeah.
juggling everything. But by the grace of God, I'm able. I do my best. It's never perfect, and I've had to let go of this I guess, image of trying to be perfect, or this, I would say, idea rather, of trying to be perfect or try to get everything right and everything perfect and organized. It's not always going to be that way. So I had to let go of that. I
Yeah.
really had to let go. So yeah, that's literally, I had to organize a lot. Had to work with my husband and try to sort things out on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that, everyone's needs are being met to some degree, because the reality is it's not going to be 100% met. Your children want your attention, a large portion of the time. Like, they always want to be in your space. They always want to do something with you. And the reality is I'm at work. I can't spend a good portion of my day with them like I would like to. And so it's like, when I do get home, I do my best. It's like, listen, I have a few minutes to spare. Let's play a game, let's do this or that. So it's really just trying to prioritize things, and making it work. It's going to look different for everyone, but you do what works for you, for your family, for
Yeah.
what's given to you, what you have, and that's literally all you can really do. But yeah.
Like you said, exactly,
Mm.
using the resources around, like brothers, sisters, moms, dads, whoever
Yeah.
you have to really help you, because a lot of times you don't know what your schedule is going to look like weeks ahead. You don't know,
Hmm.
am I working an overnight? Am I working during the day? And then
Yeah.
if that happens, like, how do I manage with the kids?
Yeah.
Right. And I
Yes.
think I saw maybe I think it was
It
this
was
past,
the top of this year. Yeah,
the
probably.
I think it was a reel or something like that that you posted, and it was Christmas or New Year's that you were away from your babies. Was it Christmas?
Yes, it was. Yeah, so yeah, it was last year into this year. It was. So I missed Christmas. I missed New Year's, for the first time ever. It was a sacrifice that I really had to make, and that's the thing with sacrifice. You're doing something that is not easy, that you don't necessarily want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but you realize what's at stake, and you realize what's required and what's needed. And an opportunity arose, and I'm like, you know what, money has to be made. Mommy has to go out and work. So yeah, for 3 weeks I was gone up north, 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours away
Up
from
north.
up north 5 to, and yeah, it was so hard, because it's like, oh man, like, Christmas is my holiday. Okay, like, that's the time where I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be around family. That's when family comes over. That's when it's just one of those really beautiful moments that you get to share with family, next to like Thanksgiving. But I just love Christmas specifically, right? Always have. And so this was really challenging for me. It was really challenging, but I'm
I,
like, I had to.
oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, like you said, grace of God, because you're going in, and it wasn't just a regular, nursing time. We're talking about in COVID. Like, it's
Hmm.
having to go through everything that was going through. You're seeing the people in the hospital that may be even away from their families because they're hospitalized. And then you're
Yeah.
your own family to say, my kids are healthy, but they're at home and I'm missing it
Yeah.
away from.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I put my hats off to you. I give nurses alone are amazing, but my heart always goes out to those that are moms, and there's a lot of you guys out there that are moms because you're spending so much time working. Um, Want to
Yes.
spend that time with your babies, and you're even some babies in the hospitals. When you see them, you're thinking of your children. They say, "This could be my own child," and you got to take care of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But even moving from just being a nurse, let's just talk about mother to mother first. you you are the founder of Mother to Mother. Where
Yes. I almost forgot that I was on the Mother to Mother platform. Yes. Um, Mother to Mother. Yeah. So I am the founder of Mother to Mother. And of course, I will give a little backstory on how this was birthed, obviously, from a place of necessity. I had my two children. I had two basically under two at the time. Or was it? Yeah, two under two. It was two under two. My son turned two in December. My daughter was born in October. So like he was just about to turn two, but still, it was still rough. Okay, so like you have two toddlers, two diapers to change. Two young children, very young children who have quite a bit, needs, demands at all times. I remember both of them were crying at the same time, and I was just like, how? How does anybody do it? You know what I mean? So there was a time in my life where I was just like, how? Now, of course, as they grow up and I also matured as a mom, I've been able to manage and, process it better. But at the time, I just felt so lonely. And I'm just like, so how do people do this? How do they do it?
it's funny,
Why wasn't I told?
actually a reel that one of our friends that are on here did a reel about it, where they talk about they say it takes a village to raise a child. So
Where is right? And that's exactly what I thought. I'm just like, so there's nobody around, there's no motherhood group. I just, people come as soon as you have your baby, everyone's flocking, everyone wants to see the child. But then after that, they're like, deuces, bye, okay, cute baby, here's a gift, bye. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, the support system, limited. I can't say it's non-existent because that wouldn't be truthful. You have, your spouses or whomever, you have in place to raise a child with you. You have, grandparents in some cases, but it's like it was so limited because they just step in intermittently. Like it's not an ongoing thing where you feel like you feel
yeah,
support. You
yeah,
just, you can call on them here or there, but you just don't, there's a lot you want to just offload. You want to talk about the burdens. You want to talk about the triumphs. You want to talk about the developmental stages. You just want to be able to just share, not just, you and the child, but you want to share in a community setting,
and
where everyone just kind of laugh and relate.
exactly, people who are experiencing the same things as you at that time. Because I don't know about you, there may have been people like in my life, when I had my son, that they'll give you advice and stuff, but their kids are like 13, 14 years old,
Yeah.
and they're saying, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that. But it's not the same. If you went through last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, fine. You
Yeah.
have a better understanding. Like I don't remember what happened 14 years ago. I have I don't remember. I can tell you that I was probably stressed out. I can give you
Yes.
examples of things, but the feeling of it, to say I'm actually experiencing it, it's very different. So having people experience it with you.
With you, different. Yeah. Complete. It changes everything. It really does. So that's where Mother to Mother, that's how it became a thing. That's how it was birthed, because I'm like, you know what, honestly, it's like if it doesn't exist, it needs to be it needs to be created. Someone needs to do it. And so like, yeah, I just randomly thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna have to start this thing. There are a lot of young moms, for example, a lot of moms, they might not be young necessarily, but there are a lot of moms with young children, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, in the communities, in our church communities and etc. So I'm like, you know so it just, yeah, I did a launch. This was 2014, end of 2014, I think, or was it? No, not 2014. What am I talking about? 2017, 2018, around there. No, It's like
I'm a
2014. Where did that?
queen.
Where,
Okay.
it's been years. That's all that matters. It's been a few years. I'm tired. I was up at 5, guys. So just, bear with me because my brain is not 100%. Don't, do not quote me. Do not quote me. But yeah, it was really around 2017, 2018, that time, and yeah, they got it going,
Mhm.
and we're here. We've really grown as a community, and I've met so many wonderful moms during this process. We recently had a launch with Mother to Mother Reloaded, and a whole new, friendships have formed, and that's the beautiful thing about stepping out
Yeah.
and making a difference. Sometimes we're waiting for things to kind of come um, our way, but like I'm the type of person like I'm gonna have to just go in and I'm gonna have to start. So that's why I have so many hats. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to start something now because if it's not there, I'm gonna have to start it. I noticed, for example, with my business, if I can kind of veer off quickly, that not too many people are really focusing on holistic health because me in my profession, it's really a treatment based approach. Like they're
Yeah.
waiting for you to basically be near death or heading in that direction before they do anything. There's no prevention. There's no so I'm like, why is it set up like this? Why is that the healthcare model? You know what I mean? Why is
Yep.
it like that? And so I'm like, you know what? I that's when God kind of dropped in my spirit that health it's holistic. It encompasses mind, body, spirit. It's not just prevention. Sorry, treatment based, but it's like we're trying to prevent things from happening. We're trying to look into things deeper, address all areas. When you go to the doctor, they're just like, okay, so what's the problem? Okay, so you have a cough. Okay, here's some antibiotics. Have a good day. 5 minutes out. They didn't
That's
ask you how your about your mental health. They're not asking you about nothing. Nothing else really matters. It's really just okay. What is the symptom? What's the problem? Here's a prescription.
mhm.
Okay, see you later, type of thing. I do not like that. Even though I work within the profession, I just don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, have to start something. And God just kind of He directed me, and I started to explore different things and realize, oh, holistic health. That's what it is, and that's how that was birthed. So, yeah, it's just been a
Very
lot of
excited.
things being added on to the
Yeah.
plate. I'm
I
like,
definitely
God, what more do you want me to do? Cause the family. But
holistic.
yes.
It's so needed, and that's kind of where I wanted to veer the conversation anyway. So you
Hmm.
there. Um, because like you said that we go in not even just for ourselves but for our children too. They go in with sickness or they're feeling something, and here is how you fix it, as in the I don't the word is like I can't even.
Remedy, treatment, I don't know.
Yeah,
Antidote, I don't know.
it's like here it is now, this is what you do to deal with it, but how do I prevent it? Like you said, prevention.
Yeah.
How do I prevent it? What can I do? Or what is a natural form of medicine that I can take? If I don't want to take, because I think I had reached out to you at one time, if I don't want to take
Yeah.
Tylenol, take all these different things, what is a natural remedy that I can use so I'm
Hmm.
not putting these things into my body, especially when it's coming from our children? Because our
Yeah.
children, there's different things in the things that they're taking, the medicines that they're taking. Now,
Yeah.
with that, sometimes, depending on what the situation is, there's not much that we can do. Medicine is there to help. But
Yeah.
if there's a natural way of helping our child, what
Hmm.
do, right?
Yeah.
And again, you want to make sure that our children are putting the right things into their body, because when they grow up and they're our age, what is going to happen to them if there's a side effects of all these medications that they're taking from a young age? So I think holistic
Hmm.
health, not just what we're putting into our body, but like you said, the mental
Yeah.
state,
Yes.
because
Yes.
medications affect their mental state too.
Yeah.
We are very aware of that. Um, but when it comes to children, is there anything that you can recommend to moms? For example, if
Yeah.
are experiencing different things, and it could be a whole line of things. I'm not sure what you really venture into, but that you can recommend to mom to say, you know, if your child is experiencing a certain symptom, try using this before
Mhm,
jumping over counter medication.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, definitely. I can speak to that. I notice, of course, like, it looks like we're having like an extended cold and flu season. It looks like a whole year thing. Because cold and flu season used to
Yeah,
just be about 4 month, 4 month stretch, but now we're looking at a 12-month stretch. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
right? It's just like, are we done yet? Right? Um, of course, we know that children, their immune systems are forever developing, forever developing. Some kids might be in the daycare setting, for example, where they're just constantly coming home sick, sniffles, runny nose, the whole nine. Then it's just like, again, oh my gosh, or a cough or whatever the case is. Um, I think really what it boils down to, is how we, again, like you mentioned earlier, what are we giving our kids to eat? What's being put in their system? What's building their bodies? The really sad thing about our society now is everything is just go, 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 quick, fast paced life where we just grab and go things. A lot of processed foods that are just not cutting it. Not cutting it. They offer no nutritional value. They don't build up our immune system in any way, shape, or form. They don't, our children's immune systems in any way, shape, or form. They don't do anything.
yeah,
Just a quick fix, like a filler, just to make you feel like you've had something to eat, but it's not actually offering your body anything. And of course, they're not going to tell you that because, how do these companies thrive if they tell us the truth? You know what I mean? So really it's boiling down to, like, we need to get back to the basics where, historically people were eating whole foods. So trying to eliminate the processed sugary garbage that we're eating, it is garbage, I'm so sorry to say it, trying to reduce and potentially eliminate
yeah,
that stuff out of our diets, and inviting foods that actually benefit your body, that build your body, build muscle, build create more red blood cells, more white blood cells, things that build your body up so that your body's actually strong enough to fight the viruses and different bacteria that are just constantly lurking,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you have to start there, because what happens is by the time your child gets sick, it's already too late. We haven't really done the greater part of what we needed to do as parents, which was, just try to implement more of, the right things into their diet. And,
yeah.
it's not easy, because obviously it's easier to grab a granola bar, grab mums, grab a jar of baby food off the shelf, grab this, grab that, because we're in that grabby society. But you know what I mean?
True. It's true.
Um, it's sad, it's true, but like, that's where we have to start as parents. We have to realize, okay, like you have to kind of step back, evaluate what we're doing, and try to make some tweaks, some modifications, and
Mm,
stuff like that. And when we do that, we're setting our children up for success, because now their body's stronger, their body's more resilient, and it can fight these viruses. More in most cases. Of course, our children are going to get sick. Like it's really difficult to avoid, but not so often. Not as often, and it won't be prolonged because they won't have mucus just constantly sitting on their chest, not getting, not being able to get rid of it. So
yeah.
yes, whole foods, lots of liquids, not milk necessarily, not juice, water.
Mhm.
Coconut water is good too, because coconut water has electrolytes, which is really good for, your body in general. And, just natural stuff. And if you want your child to have juice, then you might have to think about juicing, or maybe making a smoothie, something, you know what I mean? Something that would be better for your child.
Yeah.
When it comes to them actually getting to the point where they got sick, and it's like, okay, it will happen. What I usually do for my children is I will make a concoction. I told you about the concoction where I'm telling you, I use it like I drink that stuff myself. I just can't. I don't drink Buckley's. I don't drink Benylin. I don't drink. I haven't drank. I can't remember the last time.
You
that I've
have?
actually had any of those things. If I do come down with a cold, I'm literally boiling hot water and I'm having honey, lemon, ginger, garlic, real honey, guys, not the processed stuff, like raw honey, raw honey. You have to get the good stuff. I know it's hard, but like that's a whole conversation. But yeah, get the good stuff. Raw honey. Elderberry is really good for your immune system. For children who are a bit older, oil of oregano is really good. And even for younger kids, you could put like a drop, a very small drop of of oregano. It's a very powerful herb, and it kills
Anti-
bacteria. Kill. It's lethal. It will like, and it's, you have to be very careful because I remember taking like 3 tablets and that upset my stomach. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. Don't overdo it. But yeah, and of course, disclaimer, always talk to your family doctor about these things. Your family doctor will obviously discourage you and tell you, why not just take antibiotics, right? But we're trying to go the natural route, guys. And if it's really bad and you have to go that route, my suggestion and recommendation is to get probiotics to take with the antibiotics. What the antibiotics does, it gets rid of the flora, the gut flora, the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. And you need bacteria in your body. You need it for
Yeah,
digestion and for your immune system. So if you get rid of some of those bacteria, that can actually affect your body's ability to fight infections. So you have to be very careful with even with what your doctors prescribe. I don't, I just like, sometimes they're like, here's the prescription. I'm like, I just, you have to do your research as well. Cause I know doctors went to school, etc., but like they went to school to do medicine a certain way. And there are
yeah,
other, so you know what, another way to explore is finding a naturopathic doctor, for example. If natural is the way you want to go, naturopathic doctors will have alternative medicine for you and you can go the natural route that way. But yeah, those are some of the things that you can explore, think about as a parent. That's a whole live on its own. So I'm just gonna stop. But
no,
those are
I can
some nuggets.
trust me.
It's gonna,
I'm
I'll
not as,
have you here all night if you
but
get me
whew,
started. Mhm.
I love talking about this stuff because I think when it comes to
Yeah.
parenting, if our children see us doing this now,
Yeah,
when they grow up, it's what they're accustomed to doing. So
exactly.
it will get passed down. And
Mhm.
everything from our physical bodies to our mental states starts from our gut. Like
Mhm.
and a lot of people don't realize that just
Yeah,
eating right foods affects
it
the way
does.
they think,
It
your
affects
memory,
your mood. It affects your, how you function, right?
and how
If you eat,
you
yeah,
feel.
yeah,
Like we know that sometimes when you're raising, I have one, you have three, and it's
yeah.
not because they're kids, they don't know what they're doing, and we're thinking, why can't you just grow up? Why don't you know you're not supposed to do that? But they
Mhm.
don't. And
Yeah.
for us, if we're able to manage our moods and not snap so quickly because we're eating the right foods, because you see how
Yes. Or eating at all, because sometimes we're not even getting to eat half the
come
time.
on.
Maybe we should eat first, you know what I mean? Like eat. But yeah, sometimes that's the problem. Like we just go nonstop. We don't drink water, we don't use the washroom, we don't get to shower, we don't get to eat, we don't get to do anything, we don't get to take care of our needs sometimes.
Yep.
And that in itself will just have you just, you're done. You're done because you haven't even began to take care of your own needs and your body is screaming, do something. You're hungry, do something, you're thirsty. The amount of time I wait hours before I get to use the washroom because they're scrambling, getting the kids ready for school, blah, 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 blah. By the time I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 hours. I have not used the washroom. I haven't had a drink of water. I haven't had anything to eat. I haven't done anything for myself.
Yep.
That's not good. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
not, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's our reality, but we got to do it. Like we got to do it to not just be okay for ourselves, but to be okay for our children.
Mhm.
Alex asked, so emotional eating, sugar and junk is just making me more emotional.
Yes, that's exactly what it's doing. It's unfortunately a vicious cycle. When you start, you know, when you start into that whole, oh man, you know, I'm sad, I'm upset, depressed, I'm gonna have some chips, I'm gonna have some ice cream, I'm gonna have some, it happened. And even for women, you know, we are moms hormonally, you know, when that time of the month starts rolling around, you just start to just out of nowhere, something just like a switch goes off in your brain. You want the chips, you like click, you want the chips, you want the, like literally you'll be fine for a good week and you don't care for that stuff. Something literally just switches off and all of a sudden I need some chips. I need chips like right now. Out of nowhere. I need chocolate bar. I need juice. I
I
need
don't know about you,
what?
but I know I have. Listen, on Mommy Matters, we get real, real. But I don't know about you,
Mhm.
but sometimes, you know, your period's about to come, you start like eating, you're like, oh, I want this, I want that. And I'm like, am I pregnant? Like
Yeah,
those are through my head. Is
that
this
has happened.
is
That
this
has happened.
or is this pregnancy? Oh
Yeah.
no, what is it?
No,
You
yeah,
know?
seriously, seriously. You just your body just does such like weird things, and you're just like, is
Yeah.
everything okay? You know, yeah, I hear you on that one. I had moments like that before, honestly. I think we all have. I think we all
I
have
think we
moms, especially because you just never know. Like you get pregnant, and then it's like the possibilities of getting pregnant again after that. You're just like, I wonder if I'm pregnant now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh,
yeah. So we have to make wiser choices, not only with what we eat, but when we eat. And again, just you got to do your best as moms to just prioritize.
yeah.
We have to do our best as moms to prioritize ourselves as much as yes, our children do have needs. It's kind of like factoring in. Okay, sometimes we might have to wake up a bit earlier. Sometimes, like let's be honest, there are times when the night was so rough. Everyone's waking up, everyone's crying, everyone's miserable. They might be sick. It might be I wet the bed. It might be I need to go to the washroom. It might be this. It varies, right? And you just had the worst night ever, and to wake up the next day to take care of yourself earlier or before the kids wake up, it's just not. It's like this is not gonna happen tomorrow. I'm not doing
Sometimes taking care of yourself says, okay, they're still sleeping, I must take an extra 30 minutes. Sometimes that's what the
it.
taking care of.
Exactly. That looks different for
Yeah.
everyone, and you know, it's again just giving yourself grace each time because like I said at the beginning of the life, it's just not going to be perfect, and I had to tell myself that over and over and over. I still till like up until today, you know what I'm saying? It's just not going to be perfect all the time, but you have to give yourself grace. You know, the children are still alive, they're still, you know, intact by the grace of
Yeah.
God, you know. And you just again, you just keep striving. We're striving, even like, you know, in our personal walks with God and with Christ, we're striving. And so even if in motherhood we're striving, but not striving for protection, perfection. Striving for protection if you're trying to, you know, slow down
Hey.
on the reproduction. But but you know, striving for perfection is it's not what we're striving for. We're just really just striving for, you know, a better understanding on how to handle motherhood better, how to do things more efficiently, because you know it's still a good thing. It's still a good thing to
Yeah.
try to have things in place where, you know, you're not stressing yourself out every single day because things are just a complete mess and chaotic at all times. You want to try to find some kind of rhythm, some kind of structure. You know, I found that at one point, but then, you know, when I left it up to my husband, you know, I found the rhythm at one point, you know, so working and, you know, try to work, you have to try to work with
Yeah.
your significant other as well. And that's a whole other thing, a whole other thing, a whole other thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, just the
One
key
step
thing
at a
is
time.
hmm,
One step at a time. That's it.
literally one step at a time. That's all. You know, don't stress yourself out. If something doesn't happen the way that you want it to, yes, it's disappointing, and we have to process the disappointment, and you know, grieve certain things, cry over spilt milk. Like I saw a video on Instagram, and it's like I do cry over spilt milk because like, you know, it's like you know, and that could be viewed in different ways. Like things like motherhood is stressful, man. It's stressful. It really is. And we can't, you know, we're being real. We're being real, like you said. It is. It's stressful. but it's
And
beautiful
you just
in the
have to,
same token.
exactly. It's
It's one
stressful
of those things where you just have to be like,
rewarding. Yeah.
to balance it out. It's like, it's stress, but it's good. Oh, you know what I mean? My kids stress me out all the time, day, every day. There's something, I just ask God for grace every day to handle them with care, with patience,
Woo! That one
and
right there.
not to damage them too much. Not too much, you know what I mean? Damage them in terms of, how when you're Caribbean, like being brought up in a Caribbean household, and the way that you were brought up, you're trying to undo in your parenting. So you're like, I hope I'm not damaging my
And you
children.
catch yourself sometimes like, ooh.
Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna go for a walk. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna, you guys just go play with your toys. It's okay. Go play with your toys. But yeah, and so it's one of those things where it's like you're just constantly discovering, figuring it out, balancing, and you're literally in this song and dance for years, and it evolves over time because your baby, your toddler, your school age kid, it's different stages, different things that you have to deal with within those stages,
And
adjustments you have to make for the first time. And you know what I mean? Like there's so many first times, especially when you have a young family, and it's like, okay, when they were newborns, oh, they were sleeping all the time. That was easy. When they slept in, and now they're talking back, and now you're having to teach them everything, teach them, every minute, everything is a teaching moment. And I'm like, I feel sorry for teachers, man. This is exhausting. Every minute, especially when you want to be a good parent, an intentional parent. It's energy, but it is worth it. It is worth it. And all you can really do is ask God for grace every day. Moms, if you're listening, ask God for grace every morning that you wake up. Lord, added grace, added mercy, patience. Help me with these children. Help me to be gracious to these children. Help me to extend the same grace that you extend towards me. Help me not to expect perfection from them, and help me to just be a nurturing mother, a nurturing parent. Help me to parent the way you would parent me, because we're really trying to be more like Christ. And so in doing so, that has to translate even in our parenting. And it's
yeah.
hard because you just want to tell them, be quiet, you know what I mean? Sit down, get away from me. But the reality is, we're trying to do better.
Sometimes, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes as small as Aiden is, like he'll
Listen.
when they're like fussy, very fussy, and it's mainly because they're tired or something, and I just smile because that smile makes me feel better about how I feel on the inside. So I'm like, this just make me feel better.
It's like, let's just not fake it till we make it moment. It's like, I'm going to pretend to smile, and hopefully I'll actually, relax. Sometimes it depends on what it is.
Exactly, and I think this
I'm
is why
just like,
it's so important for us, like for you having the mother to mother thing, like this platform of doing Mommy Matters, so people can hear, like we're not alone. Like that's same thing as Mother to Mother's motto. We're not alone in this. Not
yeah.
just, okay, we can talk about our frustrations, that yeah, we're not the only ones going through this, but we're also learning from each other. Like just having you on talking about holistic health and how we can say, okay, my child is feeling this way, I don't want to use Buckley's or whatever. What's a natural remedy that I can use to not just help them get over it, but how do I avoid them getting so sick often, as often?
Yeah. Prevention, because you have to,
Exactly.
prevent. But yeah.
Is not sleeping through the night and getting up every 2 hours, 3 hours. How do I help my this is why we have this community, to say
Yeah.
this person has, I won't say mastered, but everybody has their area that they can focus on, that they may be able to give advice and say, okay, I'm mother to mother community, we had ladies in there. I was a part of it as well. We had ladies in there that were able to speak on different topics like homeschooling.
Yes, yes,
Like
yeah. That's
just
right.
that alone is a great conversation. But
Yeah,
having those areas for us to talk with each other, it's important. There's lots of things that we will
very.
know as an individual on our own, and our spouse
Hmm.
experiencing the same things that we're experiencing with our child also will not know this. But
Yeah,
talk to another family who has already experienced this, interested in the same things, can then pass on their knowledge to us, right? So
yeah.
it's important for these conversations, and just like you said, you saying shut your mouth, just just like Desiree said here, mimicking you, but we feel things. We feel these things that we want to say to our children. We're just like,
Yes,
please.
we're just being honest, it's an honest platform, and
It
sometimes you
is,
want to tell them to be quiet, stop the noise. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I know Octavia said in here, she said, it was brownies for me this week. I drank water instead. Well, kudos to you, Octavia. I'm very proud of you. Listen, I probably would have went in the corner as much as I'm not supposed to eat it. Stress sometimes will put you in the corner and say, I'm going to eat this right now because I need to.
Listen, man, I'm not even gonna profess to be perfect, man. When the cravings come, the stress cravings come, they come.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say that I don't indulge. I will once in a while. Listen, man, once in a while's with an S, but know, once in a while's, So I'm not perfect at all. I know what I need to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, we hit certain points in our life where we're just like so overwhelmed with just different responsibilities all at once, and you're just like, I'm only human. I'm not a superhuman, so like, you try your best to balance, to juggle, and it's not always easy to do, but again, by the grace of God, you can. So anyone who's listening, you can do it. It's not going to be easy. I'm living that right now as we speak. It's not easy, it's not easy, but God literally will give you the strength to do it every day. I don't know how I wake up in time to get to work. I don't know how I function at work because I feel like my brain's going to drop out, my eyes are going to drop out, everything's just, I'm tired. And then you
Yeah.
come home, and then the children are like, oh, mommy, they want to do things. I want to go outside. I want to do this. I want to paint. I want to do that. I want to. It's like, okay, we'll go outside. I literally will just sit down and, they'll just, get out their energy and whatever the case is. I'll try to play with them as much as I can, but it's like, it's not
Hard.
easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
And when you
Yeah.
do you ever think back to like when you were growing up, and whether it was your mom or your dad, and saying when they came home from work, do you ever reflect to say how they were and how you were, and you just never understood why either they didn't have enough energy or they wouldn't allow you to do certain, like, have you ever reflected back to those moments?
Yeah, in certain instances, maybe not specifically with work, but just certain things that my
Yeah.
parents would say or do, and I wondered why. You wonder why you can't just be free to do whatever you want to do, whether it made sense or not. But you realize as a parent, like, your parents care about you so much. They want to protect you.
Yeah.
They know better because of experience. You think like, what are they talking about? Like, what do they know? But they know, through
Hmm.
experience, through going through life, living longer than we have. They just know. So I do
Yeah.
remember my parents working really hard. I do remember not getting to spend as much time as I wanted to, as a child with them, because they were working hard. And now I understand, as a working parent, what that looks like. I'm just like, yeah, yeah. And they want to play with you, but you're just like, oh my gosh, one more. If I have to do one more thing, you know what I mean?
And
It's hard.
we're like, our mindset has also changed as well, because we are
Mhm.
constantly looking at every decision that we make, how it impacts them, because it's no
Yeah.
longer about us. It's like, I want to do this, it's great, but is it first the right time for me to do it, or is it realistic for me to do? Because
Yeah,
how
yeah,
my child, right?
yeah,
Children, like everything weighs in. First, when you get married, it's like, yeah, my husband, yeah, he matters, but you could still do things. When
yeah.
children come, it's
It's
a
different.
whole different.
And that's literally like what yeah, you hit it on the nail on the head. That's what especially now, at such an interesting time in my life, returning back to work,
Yeah,
full time, because I was working, contract jobs here or there. I was working part time for a little bit, which wasn't too bad because I still had, a chance, to be with the kids on and off. But yeah, I started to really sit and think, and I'm just like, is this the right decision? I would love to be at home with the children. They're so young, and you realize that people make really big sacrifices even
yeah,
when it's not convenient, for the children, because it's like ultimately what you're doing is to give them, the life that they need, or provide, certain needs, that are required, in the family. Like, if you're not working, how you gonna make that money? You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing anything, how is the money coming in? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
And so it's like, some people have to leave their family entirely, work somewhere else, not see their family for months to years at a time. Crazy things like that, where you're just like, oh my goodness, that's so extreme. But it's like some people feel that that's what's necessary for
yeah.
them, for their family. That's the sacrifice they're willing to make. And so, yeah, I hear you. Like, you just sit down and reflect on, like, how is this impacting the children? Is this the right time? Is this the right choice? So I'm constantly in that frame of mind, just, recalibrating. How can I make this work for everybody? Work for me, work for them. Constantly thinking about that.
Yeah, and have one child alone. Like, yes, I have Aiden, and I think, okay, this is what I want for his life. This is how I want to set him up. Fine. But when we do decide to have another child, it's then saying, I also got to think about when that time comes. Like, how do I now provide for two children? Like, if we decide to send them to extracurricular activities, that's two payments. So, we have to make
Yeah.
sure that we have enough income coming in to provide for these two children. And then, okay, how do we set up like our home to be functional for them? Like, there's so many decisions.
So many
What
considerations. Oh my gosh.
schooling for these like
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot. Like, it's being a parent, and being a mother and being a parent isn't just something that you just say, hey, I'm gonna go do this, I want to be a mom. There's so much more that comes with the title of a mom, the title of being a wife, the title of being a working mom, the title of being a homemaker, the title of being a teacher. There's, well, mothers are teachers, to be honest,
Yeah, we're everything.
but
We do
we're
everything. Yeah. There is, like, yeah, there is. There's a lot. I was thinking there is a lot that goes, and you don't even know until you're there. Like, you try to prepare yourself before you have children. I watched so many different videos, read so many different articles. I tried my best to prepare. I think mostly, to be honest, mostly for delivery, because I was just like, listen, if I'm doing natural birth, I need to know how I'm gonna get through this natural birth. I did a lot of preparation. I did a lot of preparation on that, but I think there isn't much emphasis, um, on parenting, and all of the things that go into parenting.
yeah,
There are so many things that go into parenting,
there are.
more than you realize, and then
And
you're like, oh, 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 oh.
and your children are constantly changing. It's like when
Mhm.
like you're just like, I finally mastered this. Like, it's taken me
Yep.
months.
Then they're on to the
But
next, like, next level of the game. Oh, okay, next level.
what? What do you
Yep,
mean?
it's like
Oh,
I just got it.
get them sleeping through the night, and then they have a sleep regression. You're just like,
Yeah, yeah. What? Yeah. And you realize that's a thing, and that's normal for this stage. And then they go, through the potty training phase, and that's a whole thing in itself.
not
And
like
then, oh,
they
it's always
nothing
something.
for this. Yes, Nothing prepares you for it.
Nothing. You
I don't
just can't. There's just too much to parenting. You can't prepare yourself
know.
in advance. It's a process, it's a journey, and along the way, you have to learn, coping strategies. You have to learn, just how to implement certain things that work with your family. You just have to literally, it's like on the job training, if you
Mhm.
will, type of thing. You're not gonna get an orientation. You're not gonna get training in advance. It's literally you're learning as you go along because things can easily shift at any time with your child. Sometimes your child is totally fine, perfectly fine one day, next day, you just don't know. Life is so
Yeah.
unpredictable. Children are so unpredictable, God knows. So my children were such calm babies, so calm. I'm like, wow, thank you, Lord, for the blessing. And now, okay, I'm just gonna stop
And
right
on
there.
top of it too, it's also um, when you have more than one child, what you may have done with the first child is not going to work with the second or the
Oh
third.
no,
It's never going to be the
it's
same.
never
So
gonna be the same
yeah,
ever, never
on
ever.
yeah, 100%
Impossible.
training, but and you'll
Especially the more you have. When you pass two, forget about it. Literally, I try my very best to replicate certain things that I did with the first. But then by the time when you get past two, forget it, man. You just have to find a whole new system,
yeah,
right? And you're dealing with different kids, different personalities. There's just so many variables. Like it's almost endless how many variables occur in this
yeah,
construct. Like you're just like, oh my gosh. But you don't want to overwhelm yourself at the same time with all those things. You literally, like you said earlier, have to take it one day at a time because every day is going to be different. Um, for parents who have more than one child, every child's going to be different, and so you have to go about things differently. You're constantly just adjusting and bending and twisting, because my firstborn, for example, he's very sensitive. There's certain things you just cannot say to him. He will cry on the spot, like extremely sensitive. And if you say the same thing to my daughter, her face is blank. She's not concerned. What did you say? Like she doesn't care. The last one, you say the same thing to him, he's gonna say, "No, you're dumb." You know what I mean? Like it's literally, for example, I know it's
oh,
extreme,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
do you see the three differences? Like it's just like, so I have to deal with my firstborn differently. The last one needs a bit more like of a stern approach, because he has very little like authority. What's that? Like you can't talk to me. I will tell you. I will tell you what I think. Okay,
He's
who are you? He
he's a
doesn't
young.
care who it is. He doesn't care if it's grandma, grandpa, mommy, dad. He doesn't care who it is, right? So it's like thank you, Lord. Thank you for this sweet, sweet child. So strong-willed. He's gonna use it for the kingdom. He's gonna use it for the kingdom.
But right
Right
now,
now, he is not utilizing it to your glory, and we're trying to curb it. We're really trying to curb it. But yeah, it's
mm,
wow, parenting, man, parenting. There are just no, there's no word for it other than God's grace. You know what I mean?
is that I
God's
think
grace.
to a close, but I think that there's a lot of women out there that may not be mothers yet need
Hmm.
to understand that as much as we may be nervous, but I know I was very nervous about giving birth. That's the easier part. You have to raise these children to be humans living in this world. You realize that?
Productive citizens. Like, oh my gosh,
And
it's dark.
when they start saying like our mind is not there yet, but when they start acting out certain ways or saying certain things, it's like, all right, how I want to naturally act towards you. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't because I know it's
Mm-hmm.
not right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
like I sometimes like Aiden's at this stage where he's climbing over things and obviously he doesn't
Yeah.
know his danger and all that stuff and
Yes, I know.
all of that stuff, right? I'm like,
I
Lord,
know how.
Lord, he doesn't understand.
It's like you're telling him get down, and then you blink, he's back on it. It's like you're gonna break your neck.
And
Is it worth it?
he wants to go head first, and I'm like, listen,
Of
that hit,
course. Why not head first, right?
you know,
Why
I
not
mean,
head first? It's not fun unless it's head first. What's wrong with you?
my
It's not worth it if it's not head first.
I'm telling you, the concept in my head is that because I gave vaginal birth, he came out head first. So he's like, if I came head first, then I must be able to go head first on anything else.
Yeah,
Like
head first on everything. Head first on everything. Honestly, on everything. They don't. They have like they're just not there. They're just not there yet. Like my son, literally, my youngest, he'll just step out and he's hoping that the air is gonna catch him like off the stairs. He's going down the stairs. And he's like, oh, literally, you have to be like literally just leaping to grab him because he's like, oh, he thinks gravity is literally. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, there's no gravity. It's like, I'm going to be floating now. No, no, it's hard. Climbing, same thing. I would blink and he's on the kitchen top. He climb on everything. Get down.
I don't know.
Take
I
him
love
down.
that.
You turn around, they're back there again. My daughter did the same thing. I'm just like, okay, you guys are table toppers. I don't know. Okay. Okay.
I love this. This
Yeah.
person's lesson of grace, a revelation of God's grace towards us. It's true. It's true because just like leaving McKay, same thing. God is probably saying to us, I just warned you about making that decision. I told you not to step in that puddle. You know, puddle being whatever situation we're going to. He said, I told you not to. I'm warning you.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, there you go. Learn from the lesson.
Reprobate. It's like reprobate. But hopefully not. You don't ever want to be left to reprobate, but it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have to, as parents, give them space to make mistakes as well. They won't learn unless they fall on their face and hurt themselves. Most of the time, I'm like, I guess you guys want to learn the hard way. I'm like, I guess you guys want to learn the hard way. You guys want to hurt yourselves instead. Okay. I'm like, okay. I said stop, but okay.
As much as and I was having a conversation with a mom earlier today, and she's saying the same thing. You know, her daughter climbs up and head first, same kind of conversation. And her husband always says, just like my husband always says, you know what? Make them learn. Let them drop and they'll learn. And I'm like, I understand the concept of making them, like, I get it.
But like, what kind of mom would you be? Instinctively, you're not going to let them just jump head first. Like, it's not, how do you not just like, literally you're just like, no, it's like instinct. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Learn, but I don't want you to learn this way. Like, can you just
No.
listen to what I'm saying? All you have to do is listen to what I'm saying. I'm trying to save you, but you don't save.
But you don't want to be. But you don't want to be saved. You don't want to be saved. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't know what to tell you then. Like, but like, yeah, naturally as a mom, no, you're not gonna let your child just jump.
Me too.
Head first. You're not gonna do that. Yeah. I just tell my kids now that they have sense. I'm just like, okay, you guys don't want to listen to me when I say don't, because like now they're climbing up the rails of the stairs on the outer part. On the outer part, okay, not in, but you know how stairs kind of come out, yeah, and then the rail is there, and there's like a little, you know, the edges. They want to be on the outer part of the edge toward the open space where they can fall in and crack their skull somewhere, you know. And I'm just like, I told you guys, if you guys don't listen, you guys are gonna get hurt. But I told you. But I do freak out. I'm like, get down, get down. At the same time, it's like, no, I'd rather you not.
The natural hair advocate said, I just don't want to go to the hospital yet. That's my thing too, because you go to
I don't have time to go to the hospital and be there all night.
Exactly. The questions that may also be asked is something like
what were you doing when your child fell off the dresser, the table? Right? Like I'm not sure. I'm not seeing these comments. How come my comments stopped? I'm not seeing anything that you're seeing right now. Really? That's so sad. I would love to see them. It's weird. I don't know what's happening to my thing. I don't know. But yeah.
They said that it seems like gymnastics is in his future. Leave and let him fly.
Yeah, man, gymnastics is in the future for real. When they start doing that, it's like, oh, okay, I see what you want to do. Trampolining and high diving. Okay.
Oh man, but this is great
Mm,
to have you on, girl.
yes,
I
yes, yes.
taking this time. And
Yeah,
I
it was
hope
a
mamas
pleasure.
that have been on here, you heard and learned something from this conversation, especially when it comes to holistic health, because remember, not just for us, but for our children, the gut
The
matters.
gut matters.
Food and everything. Everything.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any questions, quickly pop it in the chat. I know that Leah can't see it, but quickly pop it in the chat to see.
So sad.
Um, I'm trying to scroll up to see if there's any comments that I'm like. There were some funny comments that were happening here, but I'm not sure what you saw from what you did.
It literally ended, I think, a good half an hour. Like my views of the comments was like half an hour ago, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen anything since, but it's okay.
Desiree
Um,
said the village needs a hotline number.
it does. It does. It does.
Oh man,
That will be ringing off the hook 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
right?
God knows we need, we need some overnighters. My child's not sleeping. What do I do? It's 2 a.m. you know?
Yes. Leah put her holistic um health
Yeah.
profile.
Currently on that page, like there was, if you look into some of my archived videos, you will see a lot of, well, not in the archived videos, but you won't see them on the actual page. But when you can select reels and videos, if you select those categories, you'll see some of the old content that I used to post. And there's a lot of health tips there. I was kind of, trying to change the face of the page, so it's more so the skincare line that I was doing. Yeah, and for parents who are dealing with eczema, I do create products for eczemas and rashes and stuff like that. So I know that's a common skin issue that a lot of kids have, eczema. But message me, DM me if you have any questions on this platform at Hale Wellness Inc.
One question come in, or two, same person. So the first one was, do you recommend giving toddlers probiotics?
Yes, definitely. You can even give babies probiotics as well. I remember when my son was just a few months old, he was just constantly throwing up when I would feed him, and I just couldn't understand what the problem was. And when I went to the doctor, they recommended BioGaia. It's a probiotic, and it's safe for babies. So yeah, your toddler can take it. Everyone needs good gut from babies onward. So it is okay for your babies to take. Of course, again, always see the doctor about what would be the best choice for babies specifically or toddlers. But you could definitely.
Yeah, and she went on to say if they are, particularly if they are selective eaters. So whether they're selective eaters or not, I'm assuming it's still okay to give them.
Definitely, it is still okay. Yeah, it's still okay.
All right. Well, guys, go ahead and follow her. She dropped her what is it called? Page.
I know, I can't remember what it's called now.
Whatever.
I used to call it Addie, but
Yeah.
yes, it's there. My Instagram name is right there. My Instagram name page slash
What? Mother,
whatever you call it.
right? Whatever you call it.
Whatever you call it, it's there.
Mother Canada.
Mhm.
Amazing platform.
Yes.
Like Leah said, just finished the relaunch. What was it called? Relaunch.
It was a launch. It was
Relaunch.
actually the official. It was a launch.
I'm like,
Um,
what's the name of it again?
it was like a relaunch, but it's you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
yeah, we just did an amazing launch there, and there's a lot of content. We
handle.
meet some of the moms, and so yeah, you can follow this page as
Yeah.
well if you're a mom and you're looking for some content. We're going to be, starting up some stuff again soon, but it's been a very stressful time, returning back to work. Just returned back to work a month ago full time. So it's been really challenging, but there is some great stuff there already. You can check it out. And yes. Thank you so much for having me, Tenn. A pleasure. Great conversation as always. Hope this is not the last time that I appear in conversation with you on Mommy Matters, or whatever you choose to do. It would be nice to
It
be back.
won't be. They have an impromptu say, hey, Leah, you know some stuff. Let me just, plug you in here.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's jump on a live
Jump on a live now at work.
right now.
Right now. Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes. You know that
all
I'm
right,
done.
girl. Well, have a good night,
Okay.
guys. Go and follow
All
her. If you have any
right.
questions, you can always post some questions later on in the chat because this
Yeah.
will be posted so you can rewatch this if you want from the beginning to the end, and share,
Yeah.
share, share, share. Information is key to help other moms in our community. All right, guys.
All right. Take care,
Bye.
everyone.